Hi guys, we're gonna continue where we left off from my last video. This will be part 2, I guess. KK's still on the stand, and she also was excused off the stand later in the afternoon, because in this video there are the 2 ranch hands. They call them teenage boys, but they're 18 years old, both of them, Carl and Samuel. They give their testimony of the events of the week before and during the time they were working at the ranch. And they are going to give some powerful statements. So we will continue from the events of KK's testimony. She also said that, Patrick's got friends everywhere, and she was too scared to go to the police. She was too scared to go to the police. Really? But you weren't too scared to tell your friends that he asked you to kill Kelsey. You wasn't too scared to tell people that. And she added, I loved and cared for him. He was my best friend. Yeah, he was your best friend, all right. He was your best friend, and you would do anything for him. Which you did. And you got caught. Because Patrick Fraze made sure that you did. Because he has put you in the middle of it all. Not even in the middle. You are the number 1 suspect at the time, and you have testified, and you are testifying to all you know. And it looks like there's no surveillance of KK being at Kelsey's home. So did she really go there? Just saying. Now she's going to be cross-examined by the defense on this, because it looks like that there's no still photos, motion, surveillance of any kind. But we'll have to see how today goes by the end of the day to see if that is true. Hi guys, it's Friday, and we're just going to do a little catching up on today's events in the Patrick Fraze trial, who is allegedly murdered Kelsey B. But, we know he did. But in the eyes of the law, he's having a trial. And we've gone through, so far, witnesses, but up to date, KK has been on the stand a few times, but she is still gonna come back. They're not done with her. They just let her go for that day and called, the 2 boys that were helpers of Patrick Fraze and worked on the ranch. And they had their testimony, which I did in my last video. And today is the 8th, the 11th of the 8th, 2019. Now, they've had a few witnesses on the stand today, at least 4 I know, and we'll talk about them in a moment. They are dog handlers, and they are officers of the law, and apparently these canine dogs, they're canine dogs, and they had a hit. They had hits, and the hits were on Nash Ranch, in the barn, in some hay, wherever the tote was, wherever Kelsey B was stored. The dogs hit on that exact spot. And the reason why they know this as well, they had more information than that, is because KK pointed to where he got the tote, the black box, whatever it was, out of the barn. Also, with KK verifying some other source, the canine dogs, I don't know how many there were. I think there might have been 2 or 3, I don't know, or 2. They also hit near Kelsey B's vehicle. One of them, I think it was her truck, they hit, I think it's the left side, on a bumper. And this is where KK said she threw the bags out when she was done cleaning up the crime scene. So there was blood and stuff like that. And so the dogs hit there, and they hit remains of a human in the house somewhere, and they thought, I don't know what the dogs smelled. Maybe they smelled death, urination, body fluids. The dogs hit on that also. And so that is what the testimony is about today. And plus another witness was on the stand, and that is KK's father. KK's father was on the stand, and he was asked questions about KK, her personality, and more important, where she was on Thanksgiving Day. And that is coming up. So I'm not sure at this time who the other witness was, but I know there's more than 4. So more to come. More to come. Well, as we go on into the case today, the trial today, like I said, 2 law enforcement dog handlers testified that their bloodhounds detected decomposing human scents such as blood at the Nash Ranch. And that is where Patrick Frazee is accused of stashing Kelsey B's dead body, as well outside of B's Woodland Park home. Also, Elizabeth Police Department officer testified his bloodhound detected the scent of human remains in February at the Nash Ranch. So this was some time later. I guess the canines come from different counties, and and these people, dog handlers, take their dogs to where they are needed. And that's where the dog hit, in the spot. And the body before burning it in southwest of Cripple Creek. We may have to go into a little bit more detail when I get the details on exactly what else they hit upon. But KK's dad, Sam Elliott lookalike. Well, anyway, Crystal's father, and his name is Dusty Lee. He says when Crystal talked about Patrick Frazee when they first met, I didn't like what I was hearing. Can you believe that one? How about that, guys? How about that? Well, after he got on the stand, he was only on there for a moment and they took a break. But as I keep reading and I find just little things here and there, because I'm not reading from, a list of things going straight down. I'm reading in bits and pieces. Well, like I just said about the dog handlers, that the dog found scent, which can include feces or bodily fluids. Now they found them upstairs in the bedroom. So where did this beating start? In the kitchen or upstairs in the bedroom? Because remember, KK said they were playing a smell the candle. Guess the smell of the candle. But the candle was upstairs. But there's a lot of blood downstairs. So KK said, because she cleaned it up. And a tooth was in the cedar box next to the fireplace. So my guess is she may have got away. Or she fell down the stairs. Do you know what I mean? Pushed down the stairs. Because we don't know what happened. Or if there was this big fight. Did he push her down the stairs? Did she run from him and he's swinging away? She fell down the stairs. She had broken arms, broken legs, a broken neck. I don't know. We don't know what happened. So, but what we do know is the blood was all around the house. It's in the bathroom. It's in the bedroom. It's in the kitchen area. It's in the living room area. And we know that place isn't that big. The place is not that big. It's only a small home. And she may have been trying to get away. She even might have been trying to run for the door. Because maybe this is why he took her upstairs to smell the candle. Yeah, we could be having a guessing game here to what happened, but scenarios of what could have happened. There was a fight there. I think she was moving around. Not think she was moving around. She must have been moving around. So the officer thought it was due to underwear on the floor. This urine and body fluids, he thought it was due to underwear. Because I guess there was underwear there. Yeah. But whatever was going on, you know, they're thinking, it's just their way of thinking, you know. But said later, it could absolutely have been blood later found on the toilet. Which, you know, there was blood found on the toilet. So, on the toilet bowl, there was blood found there. So, it goes on about that a little bit on the testimony of, you know, the dog handlers. And the father of Patrick Frazier's mistress, Kelsey, KK, her father, Dusty Lee, you know, he testified that his daughter was home on Thanksgiving Day last year, 2018. And he was with her most of the day. And that's what he said. And he's probably not the only one that can say this. That's where she was, her whereabouts. And he was asked to describe KK's personality. And her father said, she likes to please. She was always good at what she tried to do. Oh yeah, well, we know that. She was trying to please, and she made several attempts. Yes, she did, because she said so. And she likes people. She likes people. She's a people liker. You would never know it. You would never know it. And she likes people who like her. I remember that she was really soft-hearted. He remembers. He remembers that she was really soft-hearted. Well, what about now? Is she not soft-hearted now? Yeah. No, because she's probably hardened up because there's people hounding her in her hometown. She can't get a job and nobody likes her. And that was her personality. Yeah, okay. So, we start getting into a little bit of today's, like I said. It wasn't clear early Friday morning how many more witnesses the prosecution planned to bring up, or how many the defense had in their pocket ready to take the stand. See, we don't know that right this moment, but prosecutors started the day by having 2 K9 handlers testify, both of whom said their dogs hit on items at different locations that were involved in the murder plot. And so, like I said, in the barn, at Kelsey's home, by her car, you know, they were hitting on these locations of human body remains. And then, in the morning, they had the Sonic employee. Remember, she went to the restaurant and got herself a drink and some food. And then the Conoco employee testified. They saw Fraze and Kenny on November the 24th. And the court reviewed surveillance video from both locations. So they did that today. And then they go on to the K9 handlers. Court started at 8:30 a.m. Friday, and that would be the 8th of November 2019, with Scott Sells reminding the court that will not be in session on Monday. So, no court on Monday, because we all know why, because it's Veterans Day. It's another holiday, so there will be no court on Monday, guys. So, just to let you know that. Julie Nash, who co-owns Nash Ranch, told May that she leased grazing rights to Fraser and that he had a lease for the area, including the barn, as well as a key to the ranch. In November 2018, Nash said nobody else was leasing the ranch at the time, and that she knew Fraser kept items in the barn, including a tractor and hay. Yeah, okay. She told Fraser's defense attorney, Adam, that she found law enforcement items on her property on December the 21st, the day Kenny said they toured the property. May then called Elizabeth, a police department officer, Mike Hurst, who also previously worked for the Teller County Sheriff's Office and who specializes working with canines, including bloodhounds, tracker dogs, and cadaver dogs. Hurst introduced his bloodhound cadaver dog, Radar, who is trained to detect human decomposition and can pick up scents from body fluids and other human remains. Hurst said he and Radar, that must be the name of his dog, have spent more than 5,000 hours training and have been in the field to find bodies or scents 30 to 40 times. Radar has never had a false hit. Hurst testified to that in court today. Hurst and Radar were asked to assist in the case in February this year, 2019. The two went to Nash Ranch, along with the CBI agents and Woodland Park police. Radar searched around the tractor and around the barn and showed interest in some of the hay bales inside the barn, Hurst said. He said Radar sat after he smelt the hay bales again near the bottom of them, which indicated a positive hit. Hurst said he saw stains on the top of the 12-foot hay bales. So the dog alerted them to the stained bale of hay. It was brown or possibly dark red, and which looked wet. Hurst said the spots is where Radar indicated again once he and Hurst were on top of the hay bale. May showed a video of Radar sniffing around on the hay bales and sitting by the stained area of the hay. Hurst said that even though the tote had been removed from the bale months earlier, he believed Radar could still smell something because the barn had been protected. Well, the barn protected the hay from the weather. When Hearst was cross-examined by the defense attorney Ashley, he said he could not confirm that the hit was definitely due to a decomposing body and that he had never asked Radar to sniff hay bales for decomposition before. Right. So, here is another canine handler. May then called Brian Eberle or something like that, Eberle, who has a bloodhound named Lucy, and who previously worked with Jefferson County, who was asked to come out with Lucy to Woodland Park on December the 4th, 2018. Lucy is trained to find different types of decomposing human matter in different places, including elevated areas and places where remains have been buried or hidden. She will lay down at the source of a hit, he said. He was called to Woodland Park on December the 4th and asked if Lucy could run around the vehicles in the driveway to find a decomposing human scent. Lucy found no identification on a Chevrolet truck registered to Barris, which is registered to Barris' parents, this truck is. They moved over to Barris' Toyota sedan, where she gave a positive indication of decomposing human scent on the back corner of the driver's side. He also said it was possible that there could still be a scent there if there were bloody items loaded into trash bags nearby, which KK said that's what she did. She put the bags and left them outside for a while. You know, I don't know whether she double bagged them, because you know blood leaks, water leaks, fluid leaks out of bags. So that's how that goes. He said it was also possible that Lucy could pick up scents like the one she hit on in the bags were left 10 days earlier. She, like Radar, have never given a false positive and was in the 90 to 95% percentile for accuracy. He also said Lucy also gave an indication under a pair of underwear in the upstairs bedroom in Barris' home, but said he did not know at the time the home had been cleaned with bleach. When cross-examined by Porter, potentially expert Lucy to pick up scents. The expert is Lucy, the dog. And to pick up scents inside the home if blood had sat in the condo for a day or two, even if it had been cleaned with bleach. He told her that Lucy did not indicate on any other objects that Kenny said had been spattered with blood, including areas where she said she left spatter. And then the judge asked some questions from the jury about the bleach. Could it have affected Lucy's scent finding, which he said that they hadn't trained with bleach before. because it would be harmful to the dogs. Prosecutor Beth Reed called the senior director of the security department of the health system for which Kenny worked in Idaho to have him testify about KK's badge usage at the hospital on November the 21st. So I guess, her clocking in, clocking out, whatever, the 21st and the 23rd. He said on November the 21st, her schedule and movements were fairly normal, and that he had no reason to believe anybody else was using her badge. So they're thinking, they're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, that she could have had somebody else use her badge. But what they do now with badges, you have to have your fingerprints. So this stops people punching in and out for you, And they obviously don't have fingerprints. So, and then after that must have been it, because KK's father testifies. Reed then called KK's father, Sidney Kenny. Sidney Kenny. I thought his name was Dusty or something, to the stand. Okay, she must have two fathers, because I reported on the Lee earlier, and now I'm reporting on the Kenny. She asked about events surrounding November the 22nd. He said the plan was for all the family to sit down for Thanksgiving dinner in the afternoon. He said he saw both Kenny and her ex-husband that day and was at their house until 6:30 p.m. that day. He said Kenny was there the whole time aside from an hour. She said she went to gather up her ex-husband's cows. She's a cow. Moo. That had escaped from their pen. How about that, guys? And she went and rounded them up. Yeah, she's good at that. But he said she did not mention going out of town. He said he saw Kenny again the evening of the 23rd around 7 p.m. But that she never said anything about plans for the weekend. He said he then saw her again sometime late November the 25th, or it was November the 26th. Sidney Kenny said he did not know Frazee, but was aware that Kenny, KK, had spoken with Frazee 8 to 10 years earlier. He testified Friday that he remembered he didn't think he liked what he was hearing about Frazee at the time. Upon cross-examination, Sidney Kenny told Adam that it was not unusual for Kenny. Why do they keep calling her Kenny? The dad's talking. Is he calling her Kenny or is he calling her Crystal? But we're talking about KK. These people write stuff down, Unusual for her to go to Colorado to visit her mother. So, she's got a mother that lives there. Court went into recess just before 10 a.m. and they were back at 10:15 a.m. They went on a little break and they came back, and this is where they play the Sonic video where KK stopped at a drive-thru after alleged body burning. Okay, it wasn't before, it was after. Well, she must have been different places throughout Woodland Park and everything, because she's a dumb criminal. This is when court resumed at 10:26 a.m. and the prosecutor Jennifer calling Sonic employee Shannon Canaris or something like that. Anyway, her name's Shannon, to the stand. And Shannon explained that she now works at Sonic in Colorado Springs, but in November 2018 was working as a general manager at Sonic in Woodland Park. While working there, she was asked by law enforcement to provide video from November the 24th, 2018 from the fast food restaurant's surveillance cameras. Woodland Park Police Department Commander Chris Adams contacted her on December the 20th, 2018 about the footage, and she said she gave him the videos he requested. Now, District Attorney Office investigator Stephanie Courtney was called to the witness stand next. So she said she reviewed this Sonic video, which she received from Adams. She said she was looking around 1 p.m. in the footage for a black Volkswagen, and she said she was able to find this vehicle and captured some stills from it, which were displayed on the PowerPoint in the courtroom. One photo from the inside of the Sonic showed an employee leaning out the door towards a drive-through customer, and that's probably the window or something. Courtney said she believes she could tell it was KK, Kenny, based on the picture. A second picture showed the drive-through from exterior of the building. Courtney said she knew the car in the photo was KK's car based on previous investigations. But it wasn't really her car, was it? It was her friend's car. Like she said, she didn't want to involve anybody, so she didn't tell anybody. But now she uses her friend's car, and now her friend's car is in an investigation, a murder one at that. The final photo showed a blonde woman in a gray sweatshirt leaning over towards the foot of the passenger side seat. Courtney said she still believed this was Kenny, KK. Then, former commander with Woodland Park Police analyzes conical footage. So, we're moving right along here. Prosecutor Beth Reed called up William David Stouffer, now, who is a IT manager for Fluorescent, I think it is. I'm getting it. Conoco at 2636 W Highway 24 in Florissant. God, I'm getting good at saying that word. He confirmed that he was asked by law enforcement in December 2018 to retrieve images from November the 24th, 2018 from the outdoor cameras at the Conoco. He did so. He said, and then he was excused by the prosecutor. And then Reed called Chris Adams, who works for CBI now and was a commander with Woodland Park Police Department at the time the investigation. He said he met with Stouffer and has reviewed the footage provided. The prosecution then went through dozens of images that were time-stamped and showed Fraze's red pickup truck and the black Volkswagen that Kenny borrowed from a friend to drive to Colorado, entering and leaving the Conoco station from multiple angles. At the end of the photo presentation, Reed asked if those movements were consistent with what KK had told authorities about where she went on November the 24th, 2008, and Adams said it did. Then prosecution then played a lengthy video showing the comings and goings of Fraze and KK from that afternoon on the 24th of November. The videos show the following. At 4:17 p.m. a black Volkswagen entered the Conoco parking lot and drove out of view to a parking area. 4:32 p.m. a driver pulled into the gas station in a red truck. Adams identified the person as Fraze. He was wearing a sweatshirt, pants, and had his hood over a baseball hat. And 4:34 p.m. Fraze started pumping gas into the truck and then went inside the Conoco. A few minutes later, he returned and filled up the 6-gallon gas can and then put it in the back of his truck. Damn. 4:39 p.m. Fraze drove away from the gas pump to the parking area at the Conoco. There is no black tote in the back of the truth. What? Is that supposed to be trunk? I think it's supposed to be trunk. But anyway, there's no, it says truth, but it's supposed to be trunk. Adams said at this point he believes Fraze parked next to KK and they were having a discussion. Oh yeah, they probably were. Eating away. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Smack, smack, smack. Yeah. Disgusting people. 4:48 p.m. Fraze's truck left the parking area and turned east on US 24 towards Nash Ranch. Adams said he believes Fraze was driving with Kenny in the passenger's seat. Adams said he believes they were heading to Nash Ranch. 6:57 p.m. Fraze's truck pulled into the Conoco from the fluorescent side of US 24 and went straight to the parking area. 6:59 p.m. a black Volkswagen leaves the parking lot of Conoco and headed east on US 24. Adams said, according to Kenny's testimony, she drove his car down to the Conoco to get her borrowed car, which still had the trash bags from the alleged murder cleanup at Kelsey B's home, and drove it to Nash Ranch. 9:37 p.m. a black Volkswagen returned to the Conoco from the fluorescent side of US 24. I'm going to stop saying that word. It's driving me crazy. And goes to the parking lot. Kenny previously testified that she and Frazee were both in the car, and they returned for him to get his truck. 9:40 p.m. The black Volkswagen was seen leaving Conoco parking lot and turns left to head west on US 24. The red pickup followed a few seconds later, but turned right onto US 24. Adams confirmed that investigators found a Conoco receipt in Frazee's home that matched the time he was seen on surveillance at the gas station. Good boy. He keeps receipts. He keeps his receipts. Yeah, well, he would, because he needs them at the end of the year for a tax break. Yeah. Court ended for lunch at noon, and they returned at 1 p.m. So I will resume in a moment when I get the latest updates, guys, of this afternoon events on the stand of the trial of Patrick Frazee.